Hi, I'm Danny Boom and welcome to a special episode of Recipe Rehab, sponsored by Everyday Health.
On this episode, our gourmet master, Chef Calvin, is in the hot seat.
Are you ready to take some questions?
Absolutely.
He's answering questions from you, our viewers.
Is there a right and wrong way of using a knife?
What's your favorite kind of cooking gadget?
How do you keep a salad from getting soggy?
He's sharing his secret cooking tips and tricks.
This is my natural food processor. Herb cubes.
Showing us how to make a healthy 10-minute meal.
I'm gonna do a quick breakfast sandwich.
And away you go.
And he'll even unveil what he picks up at the grocery store.
Chef Calvin, what's in your basket?
Wouldn't you like to know? Shaky, 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 baby.
That's all coming up now on Recipe Rehab.
So let's welcome the master of the kitchen, Chef Calvin Harris. Are you ready to take some questions?
Absolutely.
Well, we've asked kids from across the country to submit their questions. So here you go. The first question comes from Angelina.
I have my friends coming over and I want to make them a fun, healthy snack. What can I make that tastes good but is also healthy?
Well, that's quite an interesting question.
There's a number of great healthy snacks. You can do anything from frozen fruit, like frozen grapes.
It's like grape sorbet.
You
Okay.
also can do jicama.
What's jicama?
Jicama is a root that's a part of the potato family. It's nice and crunchy. You can add a little bit of lime and a little bit of cayenne pepper, and also add just a little bit of cilantro to spice it up.
And we can get jicama from anywhere, right?
Anywhere, all over the country.
All right, so we've got jicama with a little bit of spice. Hey, that's really cool.
And it's very simple to do. And then last but not least, how about some individual pieces? I have a 4-year-old son. I know you're a little bit older than my 4-year-old son, Angelina, but my son enjoys pizza. When he has friends over, we make individual pieces. We basically just use a little pita bread, a little bit of tomato sauce, cheese, and some roasted vegetables.
Did you hear that? A little bit of pita bread, so you don't even have to make the dough, and you can have your own individual pizzas. Who wouldn't want their own individual pizza? Actually, I always keep one in my wallet, just in case of special occasions. Okay, Chef, how about another question?
Of course.
Alrighty then. This one is from Ben.
Can you steam vegetables without a steamer basket?
So can you steam vegetables without a steamer basket?
Absolutely. There's a number of different ways to steam vegetables, but a very simple way, and everyone probably has a colander at home, you basically just take a pot, fill it with water, probably a third of the way.
Okay.
And you're gonna take this colander and just set it in here.
Great.
All right, so the steam is already coming up through the holes of the colander, and you take your vegetables. You basically just dump them in. You put the lid on them, and you allow them to cook. This really locks in the nutrients, and it keeps the vegetables nice, fresh, and keeps the nice crunch.
Easy peasy.
Absolutely.
There's no need to get all steamed up about it in the kitchen. Steaming vegetables is easy. So let's see if we've got another question.
Let's do it.
Our next question is from Cassidy.
I just started cooking in the kitchen with my parents, and I was wondering, is there a right and wrong way of using a knife?
Cassidy, that's a great question. The first thing you want to do is have a sharp knife. If you have a dull knife, that's what forces you to force the cut as opposed to allowing the knife to actually do the work for you. Number two, if you want to take the handle of a knife, put it in the palm of your hand, take your index finger and your thumb and just sort of wrap it around the handle. This allows you to have control. It feels like an extension of your arm. This will allow you to get a nice rocking motion when you're actually cutting. And then number three, tuck your fingers underneath. You can go basic against this knuckle, against your finger. So that way, notice my fingers are protecting so they won't get cut. That way you can go as fast as you really want to cut or as slow as you need to cut, really allowing the knife to do all the work. It's not about this. It's really about just a nice, even flow.
So that's great advice there from Chef Calvin. Safety first approach. I like it. Okay, let's go for another question. This one comes from River.
My favorite food is pasta. I heard you have to cook it al dente. What does that mean?
Okay, Chef, what does this magical word al dente mean?
Al dente, it's not a big thing. It's just an Italian term that means to the tooth.
To the tooth.
What that really means is you don't want this mushy pasta that's been overcooked. It should actually have just a little bit of bite to it. So when you bite into it, just a little bit of firmness there.
So how do we get our pasta to al dente?
Well, I always watch the pasta when it's cooking. I test it, put it out of the water, and actually taste the bite. You don't want to overcook your pasta.
A little bit of bite.
Just a little bit of bite.
Okay, still to come, Chef Calvin is going to show us how to make a tasty, easy, healthy meal in 10 minutes.
But first, it's time for a Recipe Rehab pop quiz question.
Which cooking method cuts down on fat and decreases the amount of vitamins and minerals lost during cooking? Is it A, steaming, B, frying, C, baking, or D, boiling? The answer when we return to Recipe Rehab. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Recipe Rehab. Before the break, we asked you, which cooking method cuts down on fat and decreases the amount of vitamins and minerals lost during cooking? Is it A, steaming, B, frying, C, baking, or D, boiling? If you said A, you were right. When steaming food, you don't need to add any oil or fat, and you don't lose any vitamins in the boiled water. It's a quick and healthy cooking option, especially for vegetables. Now let's get back to the kitchen. Welcome back to another special episode of Recipe Rehab. We are here with Chef Calvin.
Yes, baby.
He's a veteran of this kitchen, and he's been nice enough to share some of his secrets. Are you ready for another question?
But of course.
So we have a question here from Cheyenne, who wants to know this.
I love making salad. My favorite ingredients are olives and avocados. Do you have any tips on how to pit them?
So, Chef, how do we get the pits out of the olives and the avocado?
Let's start with the olives. You can use your hand. You're basically just pressing it down, and the seed comes right out.
That's really, really cool. So then the avocado.
You just put it on your cutting board. Want to make sure you cut it lengthwise. You're almost spinning it. I mean, you're putting it against the pit of the avocado. Comes right off.
And you just twist it.
So you want to just take a knife, twist it out. Look there, very, very simple. And then I'm gonna score it.
So you just basically go and you do a crisscross motion in the avocado.
Yep.
And pop it all out. Isn't that cool?
Beautiful.
Well done,
Nice,
Chef.
healthy snack, man.
Holy guacamole. And now we know how to get the pit out of the avocado and the olive. So let's take another question, which comes from Naomi.
As an athlete, it's vitally important to drink plenty of fluids, but sometimes the sugar content scares me. What are some other healthier drinks that I can have?
Well, Naomi, this is a really topical question because we want to cut all the sugar out of our diet and also out of our drinks. So, tell us, what's a healthy drink to drink?
First and foremost, Danny and Naomi, water is number one.
Well, water's kind of bland, right? So how can we jazz it up a little bit?
You can use a little lime, a little bit of lemon. I even use cucumber. I actually like to kind of add a little bit more ice to it and almost make like a slushie. And also, pure coconut water is fantastic for rehydrating you.
So natural coconut water, having potassium, really, really helps you regain all your energy and all your hydration.
And then last but not least, bananas. Great source of potassium. They help your muscles recover.
Okay, so bananas, they'll help your recovery time and boost you full of energy after sport. Our next question is about something we all need, a quick, easy, and healthy breakfast. This one comes from Edda.
Chef, I do not like breakfast cereals, and there isn't a ton of time before we have to leave for school. Do you have any quick breakfast ideas?
Edda, that's a great question, and that brings us nicely to our 10-minute cooking challenge. We're gonna put 10 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
All right, and now you've got 10 minutes, Chef Calvin, to make us a healthy, nutritious breakfast. And away you go.
Well, I'm gonna do a quick breakfast sandwich. Breakfast is your most important meal of the day. You start off with the foundation, a good source of protein, which is turkey bacon.
That's turkey bacon from our sponsor, Jenny O, right?
Yep.
This is how you're gonna reduce the fat.
Yeah.
We're gonna use turkey in our dish.
Absolutely.
And it's a pretty good substitute.
It's a
Wonderful.
very simple swap for regular bacon.
Right up. Is there any good kitchen safety tips when we're using a hot pan?
Well, you want to make sure that you have the handle away from you, so that way it won't grab your sleeve or anything and possibly start a fire.
Simple kitchen safety. So we've got the turkey bacon cooking away.
Yeah, turkey bacon.
Do you find it's going to change the flavor a little bit?
Not at all. I'm going to use egg whites, which cuts out the cholesterol but gives you a nice source of protein.
The egg whites are there, the turkey bacon's there for your protein. Proteins give us energy first thing in the morning, which we need to sustain through the whole day. Now, what else are you going to add to this?
I have some whole wheat English muffins.
Hey, what do you call an English muffin in England? A muffin.
Oh, gosh,
Okay.
beat me to the punch. couple slices of tomato here. And I'm gonna put these beautiful pieces of avocado.
We've got some avocado for those essential amino acids.
Mr. Danny, I think I have it done in 8.
Oh, yeah.
So with only 2 minutes left,
Chef Calvin has come up with a beautiful, wholesome, fantastic breakfast in our 10-minute challenge. Now, when we come back, Chef Calvin is going to share with us some more fantastic tips and tricks, including some of his favorite kitchen gadgets. Stay right there.
This segment was brought to you by Jenny O, making it easy to eat well.
We're back with a special episode of Recipe Rehab. Chef Calvin is with us and he's sharing his tricks of the trade, which brings us nicely to our next question, which comes from Sierra.
My family and I love pizza. We have it all the time, but I'm getting kind of tired of all the same toppings. Do you have any suggestions?
How can we jazz up pizza?
Well, I'm a pizza expert.
Right.
We love pizza, we eat a ton of pizza. And I start off very, very simple. Pre-made crust,
Right.
whole grain, which adds an extra bit of fiber to your diet. I'm gonna start off with a little bit of sauce. Basically just spreading it out over the crust. Beautiful.
So what cheeses are we going to use here today, Chef?
This is Parmesan. Then I have a little bit of goat cheese, just a little bit of aged cheddar. And a good way of kind of spicing things up are using a variety of different cheeses that are gonna drive flavor without having to use as much. And really less is more. I mean, when you use stuff that's high in flavor, high in nutrients, you don't need a lot of it. I'm actually adding some vegetables now. I have a little bit of arugula, strong, nice, pungent flavor. It'll add a nice layer of flavor. I use some artichoke hearts.
Artichoke hearts. Hey, Sierra, this pizza's getting jazzy.
It's getting funky. A little bit of Kalamata olives. And believe it or not, you could actually add fruit to it. Goat cheese and fruit go fantastic together.
We wanted pizza, not a salad, Chef.
Man, you're gonna get everything you want and more out of this pizza. Salad, dessert.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, Sierra, you got to just remember, when you're picking your pizza, go for some more flavorful cheeses. Why don't you experiment with some vegetables? And definitely try a little bit of fruit. So, Chef Calvin, are you ready for another question?
Of course.
This next question comes from Natasha.
I love cooking in the kitchen and using lots of different kinds of cooking gadgets. What's your favorite kind of cooking gadget?
Cooking gadgets. Well, take it away, Chef.
Well, these are my favorites. Very, very simple. A mortar and pestle. This is my natural food processor. I basically put...
It looks like something from the Stone Age.
It is.
Right
I
on.
basically can grind almost anything in there, from my garlic to my seasoning and spices. Do just about anything in there. And then a simple pepper mill. Every chef wants fresh pepper. I just season up my products, and then the extension of my own hand. The tongs, baby.
Wow.
See?
No. Anyway, they are great little gadgets, okay? But they're very old school.
Hey, old school is simple. Simple is everything, baby.
Okay, how about another question?
Of course.
Wonderful. This next question comes from Liam.
I'm not a big fan of my mom's salads because they're always so soggy. How do you keep a salad from getting soggy?
I agree. No one wants a soggy salad. So the first thing is use fresh instead of the bag stuff.
Okie dokie.
And you cut it and rinse it yourself. And basically you put inside your salad spinner. Voila.
So what we've done is gone to the supermarket, we've picked up some fresh salad, taken it home, chopped it up, rinsed it under the tap, and then this wonderful gadget, the salad spinner.
Look at all that water.
So we've got all that water, but all this lovely, crisp lettuce. And then what do we do with it?
And then we basically take it, put it on a plate. A little bit of this vinaigrette goes a long way. So that's a big deal. We don't want it too soggy. We just pour just a little bit over.
And there you go. Nice, crisp salad with a nice little dressing on it. That is a salad that everybody wants. Okay, Chef Calvin, we have another question. And that question comes from Grace.
We love eating fresh pineapples, but my mom has no idea how to cut one. How do you slice a pineapple?
So how do you cut a pineapple?
Very simple. Basically just put it on the side. I'm gonna take the top off, the crown.
Uh-huh.
Voila. I'm gonna take the bottom off. The beauty of it is it stands up by itself.
Okay.
And you basically just look at the natural shape of the pineapple. And again, this is about you letting the knife do the job as opposed to you trying to force it too much. There's a couple different ways to slice it. Obviously, I'm gonna go this way so I can have some nice circles. And now, I'm gonna cut it this way. Lengthwise. I'm gonna give you some slices and some circles. Just take a little cutter here,
I see. That's a really cool trick.
Well,
You take a little cookie cutter and you take out the middle. That's that hard bit.
And then you can actually take a paring knife. I want to take this hard piece out. Basically, just go down the middle. So you can slice this way, keeping my fingers away.
Nothing tastes like pineapple. It's amazing. I even feel like I'm in Hawaii right now. Okay, great questions, everybody. When we return, we're gonna get more questions, and we're also gonna find out what stuff Chef Calvin puts in his basket when he goes shopping. So don't you go away. Welcome back to a special episode of Recipe Rehab. Chef Calvin is sharing his expert knowledge with us today. We've discussed all kinds of things, including gadgets and a great 10-minute meal. And before we get to my favorite segment, Chef, what's in your basket? We have a couple of more questions from our favorite fans. This one comes from Crystal.
I always have a hard time peeling garlic. Do you have any tips for me?
How do we
peel garlic?
A few simple tips. You can either use a mallet. Kind of easy that comes off.
Easy peasy.
This is how you do it if you had individual.
So what do you do when you have a whole bulb?
This is an old school trick. I'm just gonna take a bulb of garlic, put it inside of a plastic bag. We're going to actually just break it apart from the bulb. I'm just gonna take this and pour it inside of a bowl.
So there's no mess?
No mess. Shaky, 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 baby.
I have a migraine now. Okay.
Look at this, my friend.
Oh, wow. All right, there you go. And that's how you unwrap those pungent little cloves of garlic. Okay, here comes another question, Chef, from Connor.
So a thing I've noticed is that fresh herbs go bad really quickly. So how do you keep yours fresh?
So, this is an age-old question. How do you keep herbs or herbs fresh?
Well, there's a few different ways. One of my favorites is making like a herb bouquet. So I'm essentially just taking my little scissors here, setting them inside of a little water.
So it'll make your kitchen smell really fresh, but also look pretty fancy.
Absolutely, isn't that cute?
It is.
And then, you know, once they start getting to a point where there's almost no return, I'd like to dry them out. I put them on a sheet pan and a little bit of parchment paper, just kind of stick them in the sun, let them dry out,
right.
And then I crumble them up when I need them. And then last but not least, my best little surprise is herb cubes.
Right on.
I chop up my herbs. I put them inside of a ice tray. Simply pour water over them.
And then what you do, you put these in your soups, your stocks.
Sauces, it's a beautiful thing.
Herbs or herbs, either way, we all can agree that they are a kitchen essential. Now, our next question comes from Eden.
What do you buy when you go to the grocery store?
That is a great question, and this brings up my favorite segment of the show. Chef Calvin, what's in your basket?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Ooh.
I like to use things that I can have multiple purposes with. First of all, bell peppers. I use this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In omelets, I use it in my salads. And then, of course, eggs. Eggs is a superfood. It's a great source of amino acids and protein. Scallions. I use them in my salads. I use them to top and garnish a lot of my dishes. Nice aromatic.
Lovely, lovely.
You gotta have some bird. You gotta have some chicken. I can do this 50 different ways. Obviously, I can bake it, I can grill it, I can smoke it, I can roast it. It's a wonderful, wonderful multi-purpose entree.
And who doesn't like chicken?
Avocado, another superfood. It's a beautiful thing. It helps me keep my skin nice and smooth.
And boy, does he have nice skin.
Mangoes.
Mangoes.
I put these on fish, chicken, salads. Gotta have fresh herbs, man. I use them to flavor all my meals. My whole goal is to drive flavor as many ways as I can without using a whole bunch of sodium. And then last but not least, jalapenos, baby.
Jalapenos?
Antioxidants. They help you with your heart. They help you digest your food. And they add a little spice into your life.
Calvin, this has been great, but unfortunately, this special edition of Recipe Rehab has to come to an end.
If you're looking for more healthy cooking tips, tricks, and some new recipes, then head on over to reciperehab.com/TV show.
Thanks to Chef Calvin, and an even bigger thanks to our loyal viewers for all your great questions. We hope you picked up some tips and tricks that will make all your meals tasty, easier to make, and most importantly, more healthy. We'll see you next time on Recipe Rehab.
Bye-bye.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations for Recipe Rehab are provided by